Alright, if you're watching this video, number one, you might be upset with me because of what I've posted on social media to get you to watch this video. Number two, that's a masterclass in marketing if you're here because you're upset, because I got you emotionally invested. Why? Because this is an emotional topic that a lot of people stress about and they have issues with, okay? And the reason I'm making this video is because there's a lot of bullshit on the internet, and there's a lot of bullshit information about what society and what Big Pharma wants you to think about mental illness and why it's a thing, okay? So right now, there's gonna be two parts to this video. The first part is I'm gonna explain everything I've used to fix my mental health and to create an extremely strong mental framework that allows me to wake up every single day, regardless of how I feel, and succeed. Okay? And then in part two, I'm going to talk about the actual hormonal and scientific breakdown of how fitness and diet and the way you think and the way you train your mind can impact your mental health. The first part is just going to be my experience of how I've overcome it. Why? Because you don't take financial advice from somebody that's broke. So I'm going to give you mental advice from somebody that's mentally strong. Okay? I see so many people that listen to people who are sad and unfulfilled in their lives about mental health. And this will create a pity party circle about people who are saying they're depressed, I'm depressed, and they watch all these videos about how depression can't be fixed. And I'm here to tell you it's all bullshit. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care about the chemical imbalance in your brain. I'm here to tell you that depression is not an illness that can't be fixed. You can fix it if you follow these steps. I ask you to commit to two things if you watch this video. I want you to commit to understanding. I want you to believe in your mind, because all this is your mind. This entire video is based around how your mind works. I need you to believe in your mind that whatever mental illness you have, it can be fixed, okay? I'm not talking about schizophrenia. I'm talking about these mental illnesses. If you suffered with any of these, make a mental commitment right now, or even write it down. I don't care. Make a commitment that you can believe that you can change it. Believe in your mind that it can be fixed if you follow the steps I'm going to lay out in this video. Do this for 6 months. I want everything I talk about, incorporate it into your life for 6 months, and truly believe, wake up every single day and understand in your mind you can fix your depression, you can fix your anxiety, and you can do things to put these to use, okay? Because it's not mental illness. It's just how you are and who you are in the life that you've had up until now that makes you who you are. Understand you can fix it, and understand that it's the belief in your mind that separates you from your dream future self. It's all it is action that you take. Mental action and physical action. And you have to do both, and you have to do both every day relentlessly to fix your mind, okay? So let's get into the first part one of the mental illness podcast, or mental disease, your mind. We're going to talk about it, okay? So the first part is ADHD, ADD, and OCD, okay? So when people say, when I say these are not real, I'm diagnosed with all three of these. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with ADD, OCD, and ADHD, and I was told I need to be put on medication. Why? Because I couldn't focus and I couldn't pay attention to detail in class. This is wrong, okay? This is wrong. I believe it's wrong. I don't care about whatever doctor is going to tell me that I need to take medicine so he can get a paycheck. I don't care. It's not real. It's fake, okay? It told me that I can't focus. I need to take medication. Why? Think about it for a second. Everybody that I talk to that loses their mind on me for talking about depression and anxiety says I have a therapist and I have a doctor and he gives me medication and he tells me that I'm depressed and it's a clinical, it's hormones in my brain. Everybody that usually tells people that they have depression or OCD, whatever, is the person getting money for the medication they're giving them, or at least the organization which they give the medication for is getting the profit from the medication. Your therapist gets paid to tell you you're depressed. If he fixes your depression, you're not coming back to the therapist because you're fixed. So if the therapist is short on rent that month and you walk into his office and he said, I need you to come back for a month's more sessions and rent's low because he has 2 clients and you're one of them, do you think he's going to send you away and fix you if he really needs rent? People are looking out for themselves. Doctors and therapists included. So they need to get a paycheck. And how do they do that? They give you to pay for their stupid medication. I would never kill myself. Okay? Next. When I talk about mental illness, and especially the pharmaceutical industry, they don't attack the root cause. And this is why I believe the diet system in America is broken in how they teach diet. Because they're not teaching it from the root cause of it, which I believe is hormones. It's hormone-oriented. And they don't teach the cause of it. They teach the end result. They teach to break the beginning, right? They feed you processed sugar. They tell you to watch porn. They tell you to watch TV. They tell you to sit around. Or they don't emphasize hard work and dedication and working out and optimizing your life around your hormones so your brain is better every single day. And they don't tell you to have strong, oriented goals towards your life and towards success. Why? Because they get paid to fix the end, because you keep coming back, because what you're doing at the start is causing the end result, and then they can sell you to fix the end result, when in reality what it is the root cause, which are hormones, which can be fixed with fitness and diet, which I'll get to in part 2. But other than that, OCD, ADHD, ADD are task-oriented mental illnesses, okay? So what this means is you're unable to either focus on the task, or you do too much focusing, which is the OCD part, okay? Well, I believe that this is like a good analogy I can use to say, well, why these really aren't that real is because if you look at like a kid in a really, really poor country who has to walk to get his water every day, you never ever see in super, super impoverished countries somebody walk 4.9 miles to get their water, take one step on a crack in the sidewalk, right? And then walk 4.9 miles back to go and restart because it was out of their routine, okay? I believe that these illnesses are started and maintained through a lack of willpower because your brain likes routines, your brain likes to get into ruts, and it's going to stay in that rut unless you break the rut. Because these are task-oriented mental illnesses. You have to find yours, okay? So I'm going to talk about my experience with all 3 of these because I'm clinically diagnosed with all 3, okay? So you're talking to someone, you're listening to someone who clinically has all 3, and if I would go get tested again, I would have all 3 of these, and they would want me to take medication. Absolutely not. This is what I've done to put my ADD, OCD, and ADHD into a positive thing, okay? Football, fitness and diet, and business. Why? Because all 3 don't really have an end product, okay? All 3 of these, in the way in which I approach them, didn't have a set point in which I could finish them, okay? They go on forever, and the more input you put in, the more output you put back, and it's perfect for these. A lot of times, when people have these, they say they can't focus, they can't do this, and it usually has to do with the school system. When I put a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid in the middle of history class and I teach him about the revolution, why the fuck would he want to pay attention? He doesn't give a shit. Of course he can't focus. That's why everyone sleeps in class and they play on their phones all class. They don't give a shit. People can scroll TikTok for hours, but when it comes to this and it comes to focusing for 5 minutes on a task they don't care about, all of a sudden they can't focus and they have ADD, OCD, and they take medication to brainwash themselves and to make themselves zombies so they can sit there all day and do fucking stat sheets and spreadsheets. It's absolute clown world. It's not real, okay? The kids don't care about what's being taught. Okay? When I'm in school, I can't be paid to sit there and learn about things I don't give a shit about because they don't affect my life. I can't work on things that don't physically benefit me in some way because humans are innately selfish and need to do things that benefit themselves. And the way to get people to pay attention is to talk about things and allow them to do things that benefit themselves. This is why fitness and diet and business are great for these, okay? If you want to start a side hustle, and everybody can go to the gym, right? Even if you don't have a side hustle, you have a job. So get better at the job you're doing and make yourself the best worker at whatever you do and make yourself the most fit and optimize your diet the best. Why? Because there's no real end goal to optimizing your life and goal to optimizing your life. Why? Because you can never have too good of a hormone system. You can never optimize your life too much. That's why it's called optimizing. You make it better. Okay? You can go to the gym, you can optimize your diet, and you can work on your business. There are endless tasks of things you can obsess about. Obsession is good because obsession breeds success, okay? So, for my experience, right, do not take medication for this shit, okay? Stop taking medication for your ADD, OCD, and ADHD. You need to find tasks. If none of these are your tasks, find something that you can absolutely obsess over and put these 3 in a positive manner, okay? Find something that you can focus on, something you like, and obsess over it. Do it all the time. Start a side hustle. If you want to make something you love, what you do for a living, obsess over it and never stop working on that thing until you can get paid to talk about it or paid to do it. Okay? For me, these are my obsessions. And I want to get paid to do these. I want to get paid for fitness and diet, but through business. And I can optimize business of fitness and diet through my mental illness. Okay? Not real. All right? Now that we have that done, find something you want to do it well, and do it all the time, all right? And you're never can't focus. You just don't have things you want to focus on, all right? Next, depression and anxiety, okay? These are the big hitters when it comes to the people that lose their mind on whenever I say that depression is your fault, okay? So if you struggle with depression, I'm going to talk about my experience with these, okay? So the conclusions that I've come to when it comes to depression and anxiety: depression is an emotion, not a disease, all right? And when people think that they have a disease, it's just a continuation of this emotion, okay? People, they're like, oh, he's just happy. Nobody diagnoses them with happiness. They're just always happy because they have things in their life that make them happy, right? So when someone's constantly sad, I feel that they're not depressed. They just have things in their life that make them sad. Okay, people go through depressive episodes when something bad happens. People go through great episodes of happiness when something great happens. So when something bad happens, you're not depressed. You're just in the emotional state of sadness that people call depression, so they can take medication to fix their lives. The thing of it is that think of your emotions like the weather, okay? Emotions are going to happen. Things are going to happen. It's going to rain. It's going to snow. It's going to sunshine. Okay? Treat them as preferences, not mandatory things for you to be able to function, right? If you're sad, it doesn't mean that you're depressed and you have to take medication for the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors to profit to tell you that you're depressed, and you just sit in front of a therapist and pay thousands of $1,000s for them to tell you what you already know, which is what you're sad, okay? Because notice how therapists never tell you really ways to fix it. They tell you to think positive. That's not going to do shit for you. Depression's an emotion. You have to do things to not be depressed. Depression is also, when people say it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, yes, it's hormone oriented. But it's not a chemical imbalance that will just get you in your head. If you optimize your brain and your lifestyle to optimize the hormones in your body in the way your brain works, you can do this through fitness and diet, which I'm going to go into in great length in part 2 and talk about how fitness and diet and the mental frameworks you look at your life with can greatly affect all of these and even take it away if you do it to a long extent and truly optimize it in the highest way, okay? So the last part in which I'm going to talk about is the law of attraction, okay? So the law of attraction, when I look at depression and anxiety, yes, I've felt depressed. I have felt sad. I've cried in my life. There are things that have happened in my life that make me extremely upset in someone that could be labeled as depressed. But no one noticed that I was depressed because I didn't let it affect me, because I didn't view it as a forever thing. I viewed it as a right now thing because it's an emotion, okay? Depression and anxiety. The law of attraction, I feel, goes to both. Because anxiety, I could have put with task-oriented, because anxiety is just a nervousness or an anxious, right? An anxious of something that is going to come in the future, right? When you have anxiety, it means that you're unable to do things like talk to people, speak in front of large audiences, you're afraid to be in crowds, whatever it is, you're afraid of certain outcomes, you have bad anxiety. Which I associate that with is you haven't been put under enough pressure and it makes you anxious. Because if you do things a lot, you wouldn't be anxious about them because it's just a repetition thing. Yes, you can be anxious about the first day of school, but if you've had 1,000 first days of school and you go to school all year, you're nervous on the first day, but you're not nervous 100 days in because you went to school 100 times already. So it's not that you have anxiety for, you know what I mean? You just are nervous about the first day of school because you haven't done it enough times. All right? So when I talk about the law of attraction, it means that the things you do can directly correlate it by bringing the emotions that you speak out into the world back into you. I'm not a universe person. I'm not saying you have to pray to your crystals about depression and anxiety. I'm saying what you do to others and the way you hold yourself and bring up the others around you will directly correlate yourself, because you're doing good and you're doing things that lead to happy emotions, not sad ones. And I guess we can. I'm a full believer that instead of depression, we can have a happy illness, right? We can be fundamentally happy through constant repeated actions of happy emotions. And this can be done through the law of attraction, okay? Speak your non-depression into existence, okay? So the first step in believing is speaking. So to achieve something, right, you have to believe it. You have to believe in your mind. That's why I said commit in the beginning. Believe in your mind that you can change your depression. Believe in the mind that you can change it. Because if I don't believe that I can bench press a plate, right, then I'm not going to be able to do it as if I fully believe to the capabilities of mine that I will be able to press it. It's just like you have to believe that this shit's not an illness to be able to conquer it and make it not an illness. Okay? All right, so speak it into existence. A couple things you're going to do. Stop complaining, okay? When you complain, that is a negative-based thing. When you say, it's cold outside, I'm sad, I'm stressed, okay? Whatever, those are trigger words, right? You usually don't sit there and say these things to yourself because you want others around you to validate your insecurity, validate your depression, validate the emotions you're feeling by them agreeing with you, okay? Most of the time, if you complain to someone who hates complaining, come complain to my ass. When people complain to me, I completely tell them, like, no, I feel great today. Yeah, like, oh, hey, I'm sad today. Oh, I don't know about you, but I feel great. Honestly, like, I haven't been sad in so long. I feel amazing. I'm tired. Oh, I'm energized as hell. I drank coffee. I wake up every single day. I'm energized. Why are you energized? I got great sleep last night. What were you on your phone? Staying up to? They don't want to hear that shit. Complainers don't want to hear to people who never accept their complaining. So you stop doing it. Listen to people who don't accept their complaining. So if you stop doing it, all right, number one, you'll stop trying to validate your own emotions in your own mind, but other people won't have to validate your emotions too, and it just won't even be brought up. And if other people bring up their complaining to you and other people bring up their negative emotions, don't tolerate that shit. Put the mental frameworks into your mind about how you don't believe that depression can affect you. When someone says, I've been depressed lately, say, oh, no, don't worry. You just need to do things that are happy. You need to work out. You need to get your diet in order. And then you're going to tell them the things I told you in part 2. And then you're going to implement them and tell them to that person. Depressed people don't want to be told that they're not depressed, okay? Because that's why they defend the idea of depression. They sit there and defend the thing that they say that ruins their lives, okay? This is a great analogy. I'm going to tell you it, okay? So if someone punched me in the face, right? Most people would sit there and be like, what the hell? They would say that person is wrong for punching me in the face. Now, if someone punched me in the face and you yelled at them and I stopped you and I said, no, don't yell at, don't get mad at him for punching me in the face. It was okay. He had a long day at work. You know, he hasn't eaten. He's a little bit hungry. So he's got some things going on. It's okay that he punched me in the face and broke my jaw in half. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He beat my ass, but I'm going to defend him, okay? Treat depression and whatever mental illness you have the same way, okay? Stop defending the thing that you say is kicking your ass. Stop defending it. Stop saying, oh, depression's not real. No, depression is real because I take medication and my therapist tells me it's not real and I wake up and I'm sad and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're defending the thing that you said ruins your life. If someone's kicking my ass, I would do anything in my power to stop that shit. And that's why I do, and that's why these things have worked for me, because I don't want to be a sad person, so I do things to not be as sad, as frequent as possible, so I can live a happy life, because I wake up every single day completely energized and I'm grateful for everything in my life because I live a great life. I live a great life regardless of my circumstances, regardless of how I feel. At the end of the day, I feel great and accomplished because I do things regardless of how I feel, which in turn leads to lots of happy emotion as opposed to depressed ones. Because there's two hards. There's the hard of being depressed, okay? There's the hard of always being sad, or there's the hard of doing things to not be sad and then be happy, which is not hard, okay? Being happy is not hard, being sad is. But the process of being happy is hard. So there's the hard at the bottom and there's the hard on the way up. So just choose which hard you want to be in. And I would argue that the hard on the way up is way easier because the one at the bottom, you just say is not your fault, right? It's not my fault. I'm a victim. I just want to take my medication and be depressed forever. Well, the hard in the middle, you can at least see an end result. Why? Because you have things that you can obsess about, okay? Even though there's not a true end result, you're in the process of making a happy emotion. Okay? So there's a process of saying, I can get out of this because it's the belief in your mind of you understanding you can get out of it. Okay? This is why belief is important. You can believe that depression will never leave. Okay? Or you can believe that all you have to do to fix it is get your diet and your nutrition and your belief system and your priorities and the way you attack life in order and it will fix it. Okay? And then you can not only believe it, but you can quantifiably measure it with how fit you are, how you feel when you're fit, and you can fucking say, how much muscle do I have? What's my feeling rating? How optimized is my diet? What's my feeling rating? What levels of my hormones am I messing with, right? What am I doing? Do I cut that out? How do I feel? Okay? As you gain muscle, as you fix your diet, as you fix your hormones, track how you feel. You're going to feel better and quantifiably track your cure for depression, and your cure for anxiety, and your cure for these good things. These are good, okay? All right, so only positive friends. Like, this kind of goes in with complaining, right? Don't be around people who just are negative people in your life. Don't be around people who don't have anything going on for them, okay? If everybody in your life is negative and says they're depressed and everybody in your life just has excuse, don't have friends. I swear to God. Have your only friend be yourself and watch things and do things and work on yourself to go and find people who are positive. I would rather be happy and alone than depressed in a group of people that are depressed. This is important. Do not surround yourself with bad people, okay? If you have nobody in your life that can ever in any way be positive, message me, because then I'm your friend. I'm your friend through the freaking camera who's going to tell you to stop complaining and to stop saying depression is something that you can't fix and get the hell up and fix it. Because that's what people need to hear and they don't want to hear it, and that's why they say that it's something they can't fix because they're okay and they want to just accept that they want to endure the hard of the bottom instead of the hard of halfway on the way to the top where it's not hard, okay? There's obviously going to be things at the top, but the hard here are similar, but this hard is at least a little bit better, knowing you're going to be to the top where you have to do hard a lot less because you did the hard already, okay? All right. And the last part I talk about has to do hugely with the anxiety portion, because like I talked about anxiety most of the time is people's fear of interacting with strangers, okay? When you interact with your family and people you know, you don't have anxiety. But most of the time people have anxiety about things, it's because they have anxiety about work. They have to deal with people they don't know and say and have conversations they don't want to have. Anxiety about the first day of school, anxiety about this, that. It's the fear of the unknown. So a great way to diminish anxiety with people, because this is the root of most people's anxiety, and it's the thing I've done to eliminate my anxiety, my anxious feelings, my emotions, not my disease, okay, with my life. So talk to strangers a lot, okay? When it came to me, right, a lot of times when it comes to people's anxiety and strangers, a good way to interact with strangers is members of the opposite sex if you're straight. If you're gay, talk to dudes. I don't really care. But if you're talking to strangers, it affects your mind in the way that you become more comfortable with interacting with people, okay? So for guys, right, I'm giving you a prescription to hit on girls, okay? Now don't be creepy, okay? But if you're talking with a stranger in terms of a girl and you approach a girl and you talk to them and you interact with them the way that you're confident and you express yourself and you ask them, you don't have to say, can I get your number? Can we hang out? No. Go up and just compliment a member of the opposite sex or the member of the same sex. It doesn't matter, but for most people, when it comes to anxiety talking to strangers, it usually has to do with the opposite sex. So it's what I use to make myself less nervous and less anxious around people. I go up to random people, no matter who it is. If it's a girl that I think is very pretty, I would go up, right? I don't struggle with this now, right? But when I did have a lot of nervousness talking to new people, I would go up, okay? Go up to them, and I would just compliment them. If it was a girl, I'd say, I don't want anything. I don't want anything from you. Some free game, by the way. I don't want anything from you. I just wanted to let you know you look very beautiful today. I want you to have a very good day. Have a good one, right? Just do something. If it's an old lady, I just wanted to walk up and say, hey, ma'am, I just wanted to let you know you look very beautiful today. And, is there anything you want me to help you get this thing off the top shelf? Right? It's simple things like this that's usually pretty easy, right? Obviously, if you don't want to start out going up to girls or guys or whoever it is, right? You can start out with members of the same sex. For guys, for example, you could walk up to a guy and walk up to like, hey man, I just want to let you know, I can tell, you put a lot of work into your physique. I can tell you have big muscles, you look good. And I just wanted to let you know the hard work you put in the gym, I can see it pays off, and I just wanted to let you know, just keep crushing it, man, you're doing great, okay? Walk away, okay? Somebody has nice shoes on. Hey, man, I just want to tell you, I love those shoes, but where'd you get those? Oh, you got them here and here? Oh, that dude, that's so amazing, dude. Keep rocking it. I like the style. Don't let anybody tell you that you're bad because you're different. Keep doing it, bro. Okay? Like, easy. For girls, walk up, tell a girl you like her hair. Tell somebody you like her ear. And girls do all kinds of shit with their appearance that they want others to notice. Most times with our appearance, we want others to notice. That's why we go to the gym. That's why we wear nice shoes, nice clothes. We wear expensive stuff because we want other people to notice. So take note of other things people do for outward attention and compliment them on them. If a girl got their hair done, say that you like their hair. Did you get your hair done? It looks fabulous. Okay? Oh, that ring, I like that ring. I like that shirt. Okay? It's simple little things that you can build up on, and if you get to the point where you can effectively and confidently communicate with most people, like a professor or a coach or a member, a person of authority, right? If you can build up from complete strangers to people in your life that are authoritative figures, like a boss or a coach, and you can communicate extremely effectively with them, then I guarantee you, you don't have much anxiety. When you look at a salesperson, a really, really skilled salesperson, you feel like they are just the most confident person ever because they talk fluently, they don't pause in their speech, they don't do things, right? They don't do things that people who aren't experienced in talking to people do because it's this experience thing. Anxiety is not an illness. It's a lack of experience doing things that you're nervous to do, right? It's hard. It is fucking hard to be depressed and have anxiety and talk to people and have OCD and not be able to focus because you don't have anything in your life that you can focus on. It's fucking hard. I get it, it's hard, and it's not something that you want to deal with. But would you rather have the heart of hard and depressed and unable to fix it, or would you rather have the heart of doing the shit you can do to fix it? And this is why I fucking hate when people talk about depression, anxiety, and OCD, ADHD like it's some type of fucking cancer that they can just get and they can never fix it. Because it's bullshit. And our whole society wants to put us on our phone. They want the guys to watch porn. And they want people to eat the processed sugar and the processed foods, wreck their hormones, so you'll pay for the fix. I would never kill myself, by the way. They want you to pay for this shit, okay? Because they profit from it. Okay? It's something you can fix, and you are better off, even if I'm wrong, in the hormonal thing. I don't care. I know I'm right. But even if I was to be wrong, thinking that depression and anxiety and this shit is something that you can fix and there's things you can do besides medication to fix it is a better way of thinking than thinking you are trapped. Okay? If I'm stuck in a hole and I believe I can never get out, I'm going to sit there and die. But if I believe I can get out of the hole, I'm going to at least do shit to get out of the hole. Maybe I don't get out of the hole, but I'm doing things that make me better in the process. I'm going to fucking try to build a ladder. I'm going to climb. I'm going to do something. But in my mind, in my belief, if I feel any of these, I do not believe that I'm stuck. That's why I do things to get out of them. If I wake up in the morning and I feel depressed and I'm nervous, okay? I'm depressed because I don't know. I feel depressed. Maybe I just feel sad. Okay? I'm gonna drink water. I'm gonna eat. I'm going to tell my people in my life that are close to me that I love them. If you don't have anybody in your life, you can talk to random strangers and compliment them and interact with them to make you feel better and relieve some of that nervous tension that you might have. If you're anxious about a group project you have to do, present it in front of nobody like I'm doing on a screen in a room full of nobody 1,000 times. If you have a presentation you're nervous about, recite it 1,000 times. I guarantee you your anxiety's gone. And you don't have to take anxiety pills or whatever the hell you take for anxiety. I guarantee you, if you do whatever you're nervous about 100 to 1,000 times, and you do it over and over and over and over, repeated with intention, you're not going to be anxious anymore. Okay? Interact with strangers. Get off the fucking phone, because anxiety is a lack of experience in whatever you're doing. Depression is an emotion, not a disease that you can fix through hormones, which I'm going to talk about in the next part. In the law of attraction, not complaining and surrounding yourself with people that feel the same way and feel that you can fix it, and through positive talk is real. Positive talk doesn't fix you, but positive talk fixes the emotion of depression in your mind. Okay? So surround yourself with thoughts, right? Your own environment, the environment of your head. Surround yourself with the belief that you can fix your depression. Surround yourself with people that believe that you can fix your depression. And you all do things to fix the emotion of depression. All right? And anxiety, do things, if it happens to be with strangers, to help you feel better about yourself and less nervous, and do things with whatever the task is that you're nervous about. Do it 100 to 1,000 times, and I guarantee you, you don't feel anxious about it anymore. OCD. Diagnose with all three. Find tasks that you like. Find tasks that make you fulfilled. Find tasks that you can work on and obsess endlessly over with no negative result. Don't obsess over heroin and do lots of heroin. Obsess over positive things like fitness and diet, business, start a side hustle. If you obsess about fucking dinosaurs, okay, read a shit ton of books about dinosaurs, okay? It's not a bad thing. If you have hobbies, obsess over them. And if you can turn those hobbies into income streams, you can be profitable and you can live a life where these are not a mental illness, but a fucking asset to become obsessed and obsess in a good way. All right, welcome to part 2 of my mental health podcast. I'm going to lay down all of the things you can do to optimize your hormones with fitness, diet, and lifestyle choices, which I briefly talked about in the last part. how to optimize your hormones, because people say, right, it's a chemical imbalance in my brain about my depression, anxiety, yada, yada, right? Hormones and the hormones in your mind can be changed. The hormones in your body flow through your blood. So you can do things that counteract what society tells you about how to approach depression with your fitness and your diet and your lifestyle to affect the hormones in your brain, both dopamine, serotonin, right, estrogen, testosterone. These are proestrogen, right? Things in your brain and your body that flow through your blood that directly correlate and affect your mind and how you think. Okay, you can do things to optimize them to better serve you than if you didn't do anything. Okay, so the whole reason for making this podcast is to give people a framework and a blueprint of things they can do before taking medication, of how they can optimize their life and do things that will benefit them mentally. Okay, so what I tell people is, if you're watching this podcast, do the things that I talk about in this part. Do all of these for 6 months and incorporate the mental frameworks I talk about in the lifestyle and the things you can do and the quantifiable activities you can do, right? Do these for 6 months before you take your freaking meds and you go to the doctor and a therapist and take your meds. Do this shit for 6 months, get in great shape. If it takes longer than 6 months due to the fitness and diet aspects to truly optimize how you are, right, it takes longer than 6 months. For people that usually aren't in a bad state, if you do it for about 6 months, you'll feel better. You will look better in terms of like the peak of it, right? It might take longer in terms of the fitness goals because you're not going to put on a ton of muscle, ton of size. You're not going to get in the best shape of your life in 6 months. You can get in great shape, but I'm talking it's a long process, fitness and diet-wise. But what I say is give it 6 months, and I guarantee you make a shift mentally to the point where you don't rely on the medication more than you rely on these stuff, okay? So first, we're going to talk about the fitness aspect, all right? I say, right, if you do running, you do rock climbing, you do something else, right, you're already a pretty active person. You don't need to lift heavy 4 times a week. But for people that don't do any type of fitness and they don't have a structured fitness plan, I say go to the gym and lift hard and lift heavy and find a program. If you need a program, I'll provide you with one. If you really struggle with mental health to the point where you are depression, struggling, right, I'm not going to freaking charge you, right, if you really want to, like, if you're going to freaking kill yourself, right, if you think that suicide is an option and you don't have a fitness plan and your excuse is that you don't have a fitness plan, contact me and I will provide you with the most detailed and the best fitness nutrition plan to get your hormones in order completely free of cost. Okay? If you think that you're so close to the mental end that, and you think the reason, right, if you have a reason that you can't get in shape and you're that far down the mental illness path, and you think that a reason you can't fix your life is because you don't have a program, please reach out to me. Figure out a way to contact me, and I'll provide you with a program and a diet plan that gets you where you need to be so you're better mentally, okay? I don't want anybody to suffer. I don't want anybody to go through this. That's why I'm making this episode, because I don't want people to be in a hopeless scenario, because I truly believe in my heart there are things that can be done to fix it, and I have proof of it. I know people in my life that have fixed their lives with these things in talking to people and doing things that isn't medication and therapists that you pay, okay? So if you believe that a plan and a program for any of this is you don't have, and you just don't have the funds, or you don't have whatever it is to fix your life and get yourself mentally out of the hole that is the belief that mental illness cannot be fixed, please reach out, okay? So lift heavy 4 times a week. Lifting heavy and lifting weights is great for the characteristics of success and the characteristics of what the opposite of depression is. Okay? You're able to deal with adversity, overcome literal resistance, right? You're pushing weights. You're literal able to overcome resistance. So mental toughness, overcoming resistance, be able to adapt, right? The ability to change and do things to allow your muscles to grow and get better and bigger. The ability to adapt when things get tough. The ability to adapt when you maybe are sore, you're injured, whatever it is. There's so much stuff when it comes to what it is in the weight room, the attention to detail, right? Waking up, doing things when you don't want to do them. Huge, okay? When you're depressed, right? The emotion of depression, right? You don't want to get out of bed. But if you go to the gym and you've built a habit of going to the gym, and you already understand exactly what it's like to go to the gym when you don't feel like going to the gym, okay? You can completely understand the same will that you need to do to get out of bed when you don't want to get out of bed, right? It's not depression stopping you. It's the emotion of not wanting to. I don't want to go to the gym every single day. I don't want to go to the gym every time I go to the gym. I don't want to work out every time I work out. I don't want to run every time I want to run. I don't want to have the best diet every time that I have the best diet. I just do it because I'm a disciplined person who does things. Doesn't matter how I feel or whether I want to do them or not. I know that the outcome that they will get is that I do want. I do want the outcome that they make more than I want to not do this. Okay, so I do them. And in turn, my mind is strong. I have an iron mindset. I have a mindset that can't be broken through other people say. I have a mindset that can't be broken through anything other than my own beliefs. And I believe that I can't be broken. I believe I can't be depressed. I believe I'm unable to be someone that is contracted the illness of depression. I do not believe that. So it won't happen to me. I believe I'm a person that's destined for success. I believe I'm a person who works extremely hard. Okay? That I have quantifiable proof to prove that I worked extremely hard. And I believe it, and I see it, and I do it, and I speak it, and I achieve it. And I'm not bragging about myself, but you're here listening to me because you're taking my advice from someone who has conquered his mind. I've conquered my brain. I have conquered my mind. Don't listen to someone who's depressed about how to fix your depression. Don't listen to someone who gets paid to tell you you're depressed on how to fix depression, because his answer is going to be come back to my office and hand me a check and I'll fix you. Right? They'll create the problem of saying you can't fix it, and they'll solve it through you paying them to just fucking tell you you're sad. Like, right, they're not going to tell you this shit. They don't tell you to they're not doing this. People who get paid to fix issues don't actually fix them. They just fix the end result. They don't fix the root of it so it doesn't happen in the first place. Okay? So do this shit. Because I honestly believe in it, and that's why I'm saying it. If I'm wrong and you do all this shit for 6 months, right? If you do all this shit I talk about in this video and you don't have any results, then I'll just say that I'm wrong and I can't, and I was completely false, right? And I take everything back. But it's not going to happen. That's why I'm putting this out on the internet for people to say that I'm insensitive and I don't believe in mental illness. I fucking believe in that shit because I've been through it and I've felt it. And I've conquered it in my mind. I am unshakable mentally. All right, next is going to be intense cardio, the central nervous system. So when I talk about intense cardio, I talk about like steps, sprinting, intense swimming, right? When your CNS works in terms of like a sprint's the best one, like uphill or like high intensity. Like, the way your CNS works is it wires your brain, right, to not only be more metabolically healthy, but the intense cardio can also be paired with the mental toughness in your brain. The output, the central nervous system, the ability to output force and exertion that sprinting and stairs or intense cardio has is beneficial not only to your body composition and your mind, right? But it is the actual ability to rewire how you think, okay? Because when you can do hard things repeated, right, they're going to rewire your brain into achieving things, right? Because when you sprint, right, when you sprint up the hill, right, 100 yards, and you do it so many times, right, it becomes easier, right? And your nervous system is rewired to output high force to keep sprinting up that hill. But in turn, when your central nervous system is rewired to perform intense cardio at a higher rate, your mind, away from like the actual scientific portion, your mind is rewired to approach hard things in reverse, in the actual mental, the brain fucking cortex, whatever the hell it's called, in your mind, the tenacity section that willpower is associated with grows and develops. Like, it doesn't like grow out of your head, but like it develops and it becomes more productive, and it outputs in a better manner to approach hard things more. Okay, there's a neuroscientist called Dr. Andrew Huberman. You might have heard of him. He talks about he's an actual neuroscientist that studies the brain and has concluded scientifically that the tenacity and willpower section of the human brain is able to be trained and grown in the way I have trained mine, without knowing the science. I don't need to know the neurological science of the brain to understand that if you do hard shit more, you're going to be better when hard shit comes at you in life. Okay, that's the basis of all this, okay? And it's going to lower your body fat percentage doing these things, right? And your diet will as well, and I'll talk about what those do, okay? And with a lower body fat percentage, you're going to be more confident which can lead you into ability to talk and have less anxiety on the rejection of talking to strangers, or the ability to be judged, which is the fear of how people will judge you, anxiety, okay? Your mind will be better because you'll be more confident in your physique and how you look. Your hormones will be optimized, especially for men, because testosterone is stored in the fat cells, right? So you're going to have more testosterone, less estrogen, to make you more aggressive, and you're going to have what testosterone is the ability to drive and be aggressive and be a man and be fucking a beast, okay? Next is you're not going to be sick as much when you have metabolic health. Okay, when you're healthy and you have low body fat and you do intense cardio and you lift heavy weights and you're healthy and you have lots of muscle and your metabolism's up, you're not going to be sick as much. Okay, because in turn of getting in shape, getting fit, you're going to have to also have a good diet, which is going to help you not be sick as much. And when you're sick, you feel the emotion of depression more. Okay, so if you're sick less, the fucking feeling of depression is going to not be there as much, meaning it's not going to be able to affect you in a way that you can't control like being sick does, okay? Next, when it comes to your diet, this is so big. You can go to the gym and lift a bunch of shit, but if your diet is extremely processed and you're eating a lot of shit, processed food like fast food and candy, right? The sugar, right? In terms of the sugar, when you eat a lot of sugar and processed fatty foods and the trans fats and all this shit, they're going to spike your insulin and make you feel sad and sluggish and bleh. Okay? That's why if you eat a ton of McDonald's, you feel like you have food coma, it spikes your insulin level and makes you feel like that. Okay? So if you want to not feel like food coma a lot, and when you want to eat your food, you want to feel energized and in shape, cut out the processed shit. Okay? I'm not here to tell you that you have to eat liver and meat organs like I do, right? Because I'm farther along in my journey of optimizing my hormones than most people, right? But in terms of the beginning, try to not eat as much processed food. If you can, cut it out, okay? Eat foods that are not going through the conveyor belt, okay? Eat foods like meat, fresh fruits and vegetables. I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to eat freaking carnivore, animal-based. I don't care. But if you cut out the process and the pesticides that they spray the food with, and you cut out the processed sugars and the stupid oils and all that shit, and you eat natural food that is organic and comes from a good source, I guarantee you your hormones are better off than if you just eat McDonald's and Wendy's every single day. Guaranteed. Okay, and in turn, okay, it's going to also lower your body fat percentage, which is going to affect your mind, which is also going to affect your ability to be confident and lower your anxiety. And your lower body fat, in terms of men, right, is going to lower your estrogen count and make you more energized, but you're going to have more testosterone in your body to attack things, attack life, and your lift's going to get easier, and your intense cardio is going to get better, and in turn, it's going to be a snowball effect into you becoming a beast. Okay, next is going to be hormones. Okay, and these two things I'm going to talk about because this one I have no experience with, but I'm just going to talk about it because I know it affects, like, right, there's an innate thing that I know this affects, and the other one I don't have experience with, but I understand it more than I understand this one, okay? So in terms of like things that one gender does versus the other, right, the two genders do to fix the other one, right? For girls, most of the time, right, they take birth control. Okay? And for men, a lot of times, they'll do steroids. So these are the two big hormonal disruptors that I see when it comes to men or women. Okay? So for women, it comes to their birth control. Now, there are two things in a woman that the birth control affects. Because the point of birth control is to trick the body's brain and think it's pregnant, right? So it doesn't actually get pregnant and the sperm doesn't attach to the egg, right? I know I'm correct, okay? So for the birth control, it's going to mess with your proestrogen and your estrogen, and I'm pretty sure it elevates the proestrogen or estrogen to make one think that you're pregnant or not. I don't really know the interspecifics of it, but all I understand with is it messes with your hormones, okay? And when it comes to your brain, your hormones, the chemical imbalance of your brain, mess with all of it. So what I would advise to people on large amounts of birth control who flood hormones into their blood system, with like the implants and the shit or the things they take, right, that push hormones into their bloodstream that aren't supposed to be there, stop taking it, okay? Because your hormonal system affects your mind. So if you're fucking with it with birth control, you might probably be fucking depressed, and you might feel depressed because you're directly affecting the chemicals in your brain that affect your mood and the output of emotion. Okay, so before you take birth control and eat like shit and then take medication and say depression's not real, try not taking the birth control. try eating better food, try going to the gym, and try talking to people and making others feel good and doing good deeds and good things in the world before you just say depression's illness that you can never fix, okay? Second one is going to be my steroids, okay? Steroids are going to do the same thing, right? You're going to elevate your testosterone. You're going to block the estrogen from entering your body, right? And if you do it for a long time, like I'm not saying like don't take TRT if your test is low because your test is just I don't give a shit. What I'm saying is don't do shit that's going to mess with your hormones, okay? If you have to take TRT to feel better, that's good because it's just you could take TRT, right? If you have to take a supplement to better elevate your estrogen, cool. But what I'm saying is don't do unnatural things like heavy birth control or heavy steroids that are really just going to wreck the production of your natural hormones and wreck you mentally, right? And it's something you can control. It's you directly affecting your hormones and something that you can control, okay? And the next thing in your diet is going to be water, okay? So many people don't realize how much water affects your brain, okay? So water has a lot of good functions, right? Number one, it's going to help you output energy, but your body is composed of, I think it's like, 90%, like 78, it's like 75%. It's a huge amount of your body is composed of water, and your brain is composed of mainly water. If you dehydrated your brain, it would be like this big. So drinking a lot of water is going to help your brain, your cognitive function, output more, okay? So a lot of times when I feel sluggish or tired or depressed, okay, drink 3 bottles of water, take some electrolytes, do some push-ups, right? Eat a little bit of honey or some type of simple glucose that will help your brain output more, right? And you're going to feel better. And you might not have to go take depression medication when you really just had to drink some fucking water and eat some honey and go work out. And go talk to some people and tell them to have a good day. Okay? And I'm not saying all this, I'm not making this podcast to sit here and berate people who struggle with it. What I'm saying is it pisses me off what people have told others on what the true solution of these things are. Because I believe there's a simple solution to fixing mental health, and there's a simple solution to helping people live better lives, and it's through fitness and diet, in the way you think, and the way you act, and the way you treat others, and the way you bring good into the world and reject the negative. Okay? Because there's two sides of everything. There's a positive and there's a negative. And I believe trying to every single day to get closer to the positive side of life, you're going to in turn get it if you truly try your best and you truly do everything in your power to be the best version of yourself every day, and you don't sleep in and you go to the gym and you love yourself and you love others and you truly attract positivity in your life. You will be a positive person, and the law of attraction will display itself in your life. When you come around, others get invigorated. When you come around, others have life and energy because of the actions and the mental frameworks you've put in your head to be the best version of yourself. I truly believe that the solution is fixing your mind, not through medication, through action and repeated effort with intention and purpose. This is that intention and purpose, okay? So, in turn, also fixing your diet is going to lower your body fat percentage, which comes back in turn to your mind, your hormones, and you're not going to be sick as much, okay? So, lower the body fat. Don't be fat because it's going to affect you mentally. It's going to affect you physically. It's also going to affect you emotionally. So for the fitness and diet aspect, get muscles, lose the body fat, optimize your hormones through your diet, and stop taking excess things that wreck your hormones. That's a little cheat sheet list. I'm also going to create a to-do list at the end of the podcast for you to go through. A to-do list. This is a to-do list, but I'll create like a 6-month to-do list for you to do if you have no idea what to do still. Okay. Last one is the lifestyle. I've talked about it briefly. But again, talk with strangers. Talk with people you don't know. Compliment people you don't know. Do something. Make videos by yourself. Practice the things that you are anxious about to make yourself not anxious, and then in turn fix your anxiety before taking medication and Xanax to calm you down. That way, when the second you stop taking it, you're anxious again. Because anxiousness is just a lack of preparation. Nervousness is just a lack of preparation. That's a quote I made. All right. Have good friends, okay? Bad friends equals bad habits. Bad habits equals bad life. Bad life equals bad mind and unsatisfaction with how you live. Everything you do, right, every little action you have molds yourself into the person you're going to become. If you wake up and you decide to pull the covers back over your head and go back to sleep, you're slowly, through that step, becoming a person who isn't motivated and so become someone who doesn't get up out of bed, okay? So don't do things like have friends that are bad, okay? Because good friends yield good results, good life, good habits, lots of fulfillment. Don't do bad things. If you go to the gym every day and you wake up and you go to the gym regardless of how you feel, you become someone who's disciplined and has mental toughness, okay? Next. This is humongous. This is huge when I talk to people about your mind, okay? This one's really big, so is this one. I'm going to hit on this one. This is more for the guys. I'm going to hit on this one first because this relates to everyone, okay? Stop scrolling social media, okay? Fitness and diet are actionable things that you can do. This is stuff to do when you're not doing these two things, but these are a lifestyle thing. These are things that you do when you're in your free time. So you can have these two in order, but if you're doing these last two, this can be negated because this will also make you feel like shit. So these are freaking big, okay? Don't scroll mindlessly on social media. So when I talk about this, all right, it's good to have social media and interact with people, but do not sit there and worry about what Kim K looks like and worry about what the freaking bodybuilder models look like, because it's not able to be maintained with someone who does not do lots and lots of steroids and someone who has not been working out for lots and lots of years. Kim K and Ronnie Coleman are not natural expectations of what you're supposed to look like, okay? Fitness and diet can make you look as good as a human can look naturally. Kim K is not natural. Ronnie Coleman is not natural. Kylie Jenner is not natural. These people that you scroll and care so much about your life and watch their TV shows filled with stupid-ass drama that literally don't matter. Literally just household fights about stupid bitches arguing about bitch shit, okay? That doesn't matter. Stop filling your life with stupid things. Fulfill your life with something that's not the Kardashians, okay? Or something similar, all right? For guys, don't think you're going to look like Ronnie Coleman, right? I love bodybuilding and I love that culture, and I love the culture of hard work and going to the gym and being someone who advocates for hard work, right? But what I don't love is when you have guys taking a shit ton of steroids, wrecking their hormones and making them want to kill themselves because they expect to look like Ronnie Coleman in 3 days, but they don't understand the hard work and the genetics and the dedication that it took for him to look like that in the years and years of natural bodybuilding it took, and what it took for him mentally to get there naturally before he took steroids, which then in turn he was hyper-reactive to the steroids, which made him very, very big, okay? Looking at these types of people and the people that are not realistic expectations for what a human can achieve, right? Because they're photoshopped and they're plastic surgery and steroids and all that. It doesn't help you mentally because you feel inferior yourself, right? Just like your diet is in your food diet, you have a mental diet of what content you consume and what you look at and what you read and what you put and fill in your mind, the people you surround yourself with, and the social media you watch. Okay? I'm not here to advocate for the dangers of social media. I'm here to tell you that sitting here and watching bullshit is going to make your mind full of bullshit. And if you want your mind full of useful, quantifiable things that help your life, learn about it on social media, but not stupid shit. Okay? Last one. Right, this will go for guys and girls, but I don't know a lot of girls who watch porn more than guys do. Because I'm a guy and I have lots of guy friends, and I know how hard this shit hits. This shirt is mocking it, right? Because of this company that is designed, right? OnlyFans, but my shirt says Only Games, right? It's a joke, but at the same time, I wore it because of how big this is when it comes to men's mental health, right? I'm talking about from a men's standpoint because I don't know that many girls. If you're a girl, treat it the same way, right? And you watch a lot of porn and it's something you struggle with, do it. But the culture we create on social media with OnlyFans and the porn and all that shit is so shit. Number one, for your testosterone, but it's so shit for you mentally in your interaction with other people. So the best way I can describe this is if you go to the gym one time, okay, going to the gym and lifting one dumbbell, right, and expecting to look like Ronnie Coleman is unrealistic, okay? When you go to the gym, you don't look like Ronnie Coleman every time you go to the gym, okay? When you watch porn, okay, it is instant gratification. Every time you watch porn, you have, you know what I mean, like you in your brain has sex with a 10 out of 10 woman. Okay? This is uncomfortable to talk about, but understand that this shit's killing you. It's something you have to talk about if you want to fix your mind, because this is a detriment and an evil to society. This shit is evil, okay? The same way, right? You go to the gym, right? I'm going to repeat it again. You go to the gym and you lift one dumbbell and you look in the mirror. You're not Ronnie Coleman because it's delayed gratification that it builds mental toughness in doing it over and over again, regardless of how you feel, to be the best. What porn does, not only does it take away the consent of talking with a woman and actual talking with a woman part, which leads, right, to you to be able to do the things that you just do this shit for, instantly gratifying, but porn instantly gratifies people by giving them exactly what they want whenever they want it. When you used to have to talk to women, I'm a young kid, but I understand how it used to be before the internet because I understand phones weren't a thing. So before you say you don't know anything because you're only 19, I understand that I was born in the age that phones came into reality. I understand it. But I also understand that phones didn't exist once and there used to be things you had to do, which was talk to women, okay? So you used to have to talk to a woman if you wanted to get into bed with her and to sleep with her, whatever it is. If you're a girl and you want to be with a guy, you used to have to talk to them and interact with them, okay? Now you see people with all this social anxiety and all this social issues when it comes to men and women interactions or whatever. If you're gay, I don't really know or care, but with these interactions with intimate partners, it's all this social anxiety that is bred through this shit. Because men watch this shit and they don't think that consent's a thing anymore, and there's issues with consent. There's a higher rate in domestic violence because consent is not talked about in porn, right? It teaches you to not interact with women because the second you want to interact with a woman, right, you click on the screen and you're in with a 10 out of 10. And you can chat with them and you can do AI porn and you can do all this shit that completely wrecks your delayed gratification portion of your life where you do things over and over again without expecting an immediate result, and you do it for the long term, not the short term, and you do things like this that completely wipe out all this shit because you're worried about the short term. This is an extremely hard addiction that I myself had to overcome. Okay? And when I overcome this addiction, I have truly become better for the best version of myself, right? And it's something you could talk about without being uncomfortable because you have to understand how it truly affects your life. People don't talk about this shit. People don't talk about the porn industry and what it does for the delayed gratification portion of your brain. So stop watching porn. Stop watching OnlyFans. Stop expecting fucking instant sex from girls. Talk to people. Talk to people. Talk with strangers. Interact with people. I'm not saying just use women as freaking objects, but I'm saying stop watching porn, which is exactly what that does, which treats the opposite sex as an object used for sex, takes away the delayed gratification, it instantly gratifies you with a fucking screen that you want to sit there. Every time you want to do that, right, you watch porn and it destroys your mind, okay? So, lifestyle, talk with people, compliment strangers, have good friends, don't do stupid social media, and stop watching fucking porn, okay? Alright, so this is just my to-do list that I made over all the topics I covered in the part 1 and part 2. This is just a simple to-do list that you can do for the next 6 months to optimize your freaking hormones and optimize your mind to be rewired for success, okay? So, when it comes to the OCD, ADD, right, we're going to work out every single day and we're going to put our energy, we're going to put our focus into optimizing our diet and optimizing our bodies and optimizing our mind. We are going to compulsively, obsessively, compulsively succeed. We're not going to be OCD. We're going to be OCS. We're going to obsessively, compulsively succeed. We're going to have outbursts of success every day, daily. We're going to work out daily. I don't care if you lift. I would recommend 4 times a week lifting hard, very hard. And the other 3 doing intense cardio, right? If you want to run daily, if you want to walk daily, if you want to do something, work out daily. Do something. Diet. We're going to eat less processed food and we're going to eat less processed sugar, right? I understand that these are hard addictions, that they're hard to get over, okay? But you're going to eat less of both and slowly take them away until you eat less and none. I believe it's possible to do in 6 months. Diet. Think about changing the birth control or the steroids, okay? I understand if you're at a position with both where if you get off them, your hormones could be very out of whack. Briefly. Do not think that this is just depression or anxiety. If you come off the steroids, your tests and your estrogen are going to be whack. Have a plan to do something when you come off them. With the birth control, you usually go back to normal, I think, right? I know that usually when you get off the birth control, it doesn't have any crazy effects leaving it. It just affects you while you're on it with increased mood swings, okay? If you want to stay on your birth control or your steroids, I don't care, but I feel that it would optimize your hormones better by getting off either, okay? This is fucking huge. Believe you can change. Believe for the next 6 months, every day, you have to look in the mirror and say it, and affirm to yourself. You say affirmations. I can change. I'm not depressed. I don't have anxiety. I don't have OCD. I don't have ADD. I don't have ADHD. I can change it, and they're figments of my mind that can be changed, and they're areas of my mind that I can affect, and I'm going to affect them every day through these things, okay? And then we're going to compliment 2 strangers daily. If you have anxiety, bump the numbers up daily. It's hard. I understand if you have crippling social anxiety because you don't talk to people a lot, you can't present in front of an audience. Compliment 2 or more if you have more strangers daily. The more you talk to random people and the more you get comfortable speaking and the more you get comfortable in communicating with people that you don't know and breaking the ice and being someone that's not awkward, the better you're going to be when it comes to anxious situations, because most anxious situations have to do with other people. I can't think of one that's not. Okay? No. And you could also put dumb social media, but I know people are going to scroll. I know you're going to be on your phone. You're on your phone if you're watching this. You're going to be on your phone if you're going to interact with my media. So you're probably going to scroll at some point. Something stupid. But don't watch porn. Okay? This, in my opinion, is going to be hardest for the guys more than the sugar or even getting out of bed and working out. It's going to be this. Okay? So put systems in where you increase the friction in which you want to watch porn or do any of this stuff. When it comes to building a positive habit, you want to increase the friction of the ability to do the task, and when you want to break a habit, you want to increase the friction. So a good example of how to increase friction on your phone is put a bunch of settings and a bunch of things on your search browser that won't let you go to porn sites. Don't let it happen, and surround yourself, right, with people who don't do this. A good way to get away from porn is to research how much it affects your mind. Do research on the negative outcomes of porn and understand the outcomes that you're creating every time you do it. And like I talked about earlier, it's delaying the gratification, right? Or it's instantly gratifying you. It's taking away the delayed gratification. So that's a huge output that this shit does. But research it if you want to change it, okay? Don't go and research all the chemicals in your brain that talk about depression and send them to me. Right? If you comment the fucking chemicals in your brain down below, I'll read it, but I won't respond. I won't care. I'm not going to give a shit, okay? If you don't research all the chemicals and send it my way, because I'm not a depressed person. I'll never be a depressed person. I'll never have anxiety. I'll never be someone who suffers again. I'll never suffer ever again, because I'll never suffer again from mental illness, because it's not an illness. It's just an emotion that you can fix. Okay, so research all these things. If you don't believe me and anything I just said, do more research and figure out how you can optimize your hormones with all of these things. Follow these things for 6 months. And if you are not happy and you're still depressed and you're still upset and you have mental illness still, right, reach out to me and tell me that I'm wrong, and I want you to tell me everything you did. I want you to show me proof that you did all this shit every day. Send me a picture. If you send me fucking 30 times, send me 6 months worth of photos of you going to the gym and all your meals for 6 months, and you send me videos of you every day saying you believe you can change, and you send me every single day videos of you complimenting. Send me. You don't have to send me proof that you're not on this, but you're not watching porn. You're not doing stupid shit, and you do this shit for 6 months and you don't see any change or any positive progress. I'll bite my tongue, I'll delete this podcast, and I'll say that I'm wrong, and I'll stop talking about mental health because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope maybe you're not as upset with me as you maybe were when you listened to my initial thoughts, right? When you acted on emotion and clicked on the video, and you actually watched what I've experienced and what I understand about mental health and how to solve it, and you've listened to my philosophy on it, maybe, right, even if you still hate me, even if you're still mad at me, and you're emotionally invested in my talk about, because you've been affected by mental illness in a great manner, right, I still want you to implement these things and prove me wrong, okay? If you're emotionally upset at me and you disagree, do this shit and prove me wrong. If you're someone that does this, and you're still upset, and you optimize all your hormones, and you have proof that your hormones are at a great level, and you do things every day to fulfill yourself and to help others, and you still are depressed, and you still have bad mental health issues, send it my way. Prove me wrong. I'm challenging you to prove me wrong right? Prove me wrong by being better. Prove me wrong by being better. Prove me wrong that mental health isn't something you can fix by attempting to do it. But I guarantee you, in the process of trying to do it and try to prove me wrong, you'll prove me right, okay? Because that's all I want to do with whatever I'm posting is make the world a better place, getting rid of all the bullshit that people tell you through freaking experience, right? I don't have to know all the different chemicals and the subchemicals and the different neuron pathways that the hormones of depression travel through to understand that I can fix that shit, okay? Because I've done it, and I did it, and I'm continuing to do it, okay? Every day when you wake up, I want you to understand that you can fix your mind, and I want to understand that I can help others do it, and that's why I'm creating this content. So please share this with somebody that you think this would benefit, and if it doesn't benefit you, again, prove me wrong and message me. So thank you, and I wish you the best in your mental health journey. I really do wish you the best. If you need anything in terms of mental health advice, if you need anything fitness advice-wise, nutrition, I'm your guy. I run a company called Fieri where I teach people how to work out, how to optimize their diet, nutrition, and their lifestyle and their mind. If you want to be one of those people, reach out to me. Thank you. I love you. My success is your success. Have a good day.